I want to quickly talk to you about Mighty Networks versus Skool. So, again, we are speaking about community building. We're speaking about a course platform. We're speaking about your ability to monetize your knowledge. Okay. So, think about Mighty Networks versus Skool. Which one should you choose this year for community and courses? So, let's first define what those platforms are and what they're not so that you can have a clear idea about the kind of platform you should go after. So, basically, let's first talk about Mighty Networks. So Mighty Networks actually is a great platform that allows you to do a lot of things. And what I love about Mighty Networks is that it's basically an all-in-one platform that really focuses around what I call the four C's. Okay, the four C's are critical if you are going to succeed in your if you're going to succeed as a content creator online. Okay, so four C's: courses, content, community, and commerce. Okay, because you can't just have the content if you don't have a way to monetize your content through courses. Basically, you can't really go far. And community is important because you want to be able to have a group that's willing to buy your courses, that's willing to understand the kind of content you're creating. So basically, Mighty is an all-in-one platform. Okay, so you are able to actually to go from A to you are able to 10x or even 100x your performance real fast. Okay, and one thing I love about Mighty Networks is that they have a feature called Spaces, and so basically those spaces help you charge for each or bundling, okay, each space or bundling, and you can monetize with more than 135 different currencies or token gating. Okay, that's really good. So that's for Mighty Pro or Mighty Networks. What about Skool? Actually, Skool actually is basically it's a basic course platform and a calendar device to help you schedule events. Okay, so Skool is way more straightforward. Okay, think about Facebook in the 90s or 2000s when it started. So you can see on the screen here, I'm just showing you a real fast Mighty Networks with the Skool, a quick comparison chart. I want you to really look where you have here. So basically, community platform all the way to apps. You can see what you can do with either or, right? Now, if you're looking at this, don't think that Mighty Networks wins automatically. No, it depends on what you want to do with your courses, with your community, because Skool might be actually way better for your community, depending on, again, on the niche you're in. So when you think about Mighty Networks versus Skool, there are a few comparison features that I really want you to focus on. And that's what I will focus on into this conversation, okay? One thing you need to understand here is that when you actually are building a community, you have to think about, let's say, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 5 years from now. You can't just start a community and not think about scalability, okay? Because scalability is really key in terms of in terms of the features that you have access to while using the platform. So when I say community platform, you have to have access to some features. You have to have access to some modules. You have to have access to whatever makes the community user friendly. Because the last thing you want is to actually spend one full year training yourself and training your team to actually use a community platform. That's what I love about Skool, because Skool is so basic that you can start using the platform right away. It's very intuitive. Okay, there is no need to actually get a user manual or a user guide or whatever. No, you can use it right away. So I'm also going to compare courses. So courses that you can create through Mighty Networks or Skool, the possibilities that are there, the ease of course creation, right? You also have events. So you have I will compare also the speed at which you can really create events on Mighty Networks versus Skool. I'll look at the monetization possibilities because, hey, listen, you're not a charity. Even if you are a charity, you have to find a way to actually monetize your content because that's the only way you can keep working in the long run, right? And you also have apps and access. So what happens here is that apps and access are going to help you actually get things done fast, okay? In terms of a mobile experience, but also in terms of accessing your account from multiple places. Now, of course, When you think about apps and access, this is also important if you are not a one content creator, but you have a team and you want to give your team access to the community platform. Okay. So that's important to look at it from that point of view. So if you think about Mighty Networks versus Skool, let's first talk about the community platform because everything starts with a community platform. Okay. So if you think about Mighty Networks, you have a holistic approach. You have an all-in-one community engine. You have everything. What happens here is that with Mighty Networks, you can create a community centered around the things that matter to you and your members. Okay, and each Mighty Network has features like discussions, content creation, events, live streaming, and courses. Okay, so this is kind of cool because you have the possibility to actually scale and monetize real fast. With the content, for instance, you can post hashtags, tag other members with an @ sign, and report content if need be. Okay, so this is kind of cool, and you can also add emojis, links, attachments, videos, polls, and GIFs. Okay, and that's the cool thing that I love also is that on Mighty Networks, members can create profiles and you can message members either one-on-one or in groups. So that's pretty good. And so that's really good. One thing I also love about with the Mighty Networks is that you have a landing page, you have a tagline, you have social announcements, you have invitations. That's pretty good. You have a welcome post and you have starting community questions. That's really fantastic. What about Skool here? Let's talk about Skool. One thing for sure, Skool actually offers a basic community platform that's built like a simple forum, which is really great for some niches, for some goals. Okay, in other words, simple is always better if you can really leverage that. So on Skool, for instance, you have the option to post content, add links, attachments, videos, polls, and GIFs, and members can like posts and comment on them or watch posts that are interesting to them. Okay. And you can include categories for your post to help members organize them a bit, as well as rules that let you lay out the standards of behavior for the forum. So this is pretty good because it gives you more flexibility in how you organize your content. Okay. So one interesting feature that I want to mention here is that there's a level of gamification to reward those who are active in your community with a leaderboard. So that's pretty good because it gives you lots of flexibility. So you could, for example, unlock courses for those who reach a certain level. And this is a neat feature, okay? Something to really think about, okay? But overall, Skool is very basic and very straightforward. So if you think about Mighty Networks versus Skool in terms of community platform, Mighty Networks is way better. What about courses? Let's talk about courses. So if you think about, let's first talk about Mighty Networks. So Mighty Networks gives you a lot of different ways to approach courses with features like native video, dripping content, conversation after each lesson, and more. So because you have tons of flexibility when creating course spaces, you could opt for different designs. So that's kind of cool because when you have a community platform that allows you to introduce your own brand, that's pretty fantastic. Okay. So this is really good. And one thing I want to say also is that basically Mighty Networks is there to actually, let's say to accompany you on your creative journey in terms of how you want your course to actually appear. You can have static courses like pre-recorded. You can have live courses. You can also have cohort courses. Okay, and you can pre-sell your courses with Mighty. Then use basically their live streaming to deliver the course. That's totally possible. Okay. And what about Skool? Skool has a basic LMS platform built into it. It lets you build course modules and sub-lessons. You can add text to teach lessons, or you can embed a video hosted on a third party like YouTube or Vimeo, okay? And Skool has also included a transcript box and the option to toggle discussion or dripping content on individual lessons. So this is pretty good to really think about. And the course platform works okay for organizing content, but it's very limited in terms of features. Okay. And one thing I've seen after researching, my team and I has researched this for years. The UX on Skool isn't really great for trying to build a course. For example, the courses are not edited under the classroom tabs. To access the editor, you have to go into the settings function. So this is not a deal breaker, but it makes it more difficult to edit your course. Okay. So you can see on the screen here, this is what the settings look like for in Skool. So this is kind of important. And the bottom line here is that you have to actually like simplicity, like to actually go with Skool. So who's the winner here? Mighty Networks, because unlike with Mighty, you can't teach a course live on Skool. It's not a platform that would work for cohort courses. You'd have to live stream on other platforms such as Vimeo or YouTube, and then create a course with links to the recordings in the settings section. Now let's talk about events. Okay, so basically, when it comes to community platform, when it comes to classroom, when it comes to courses, Mighty Networks really win. Okay, wins big time. Now, what about events? So if you think about events, one thing I want you to really understand here is that you have more possibilities with Mighty Networks. The reason is that basically you are able to actually have built-in live streaming. In other words, you have way more possibilities to reach all your members because live streaming can be done and watched from either a web app or from the iOS or Android Mighty Networks apps. Okay. You can even get a custom built white label app and have branded live streaming. So on top of native live streaming, Mighty also has a one-click Zoom integration, meaning that you can connect your Zoom account and it automatically takes care of the scheduling for Zoom meetings or webinars. So that's pretty good. So this is really good. As you can see on the screen here, every Mighty Network comes with an events tab built in where you can schedule events, see what's happening, what's coming up, collect RSVPs from members, and send out event notifications. Okay, so notifications are also built in. So that's for Mighty Networks. You also have Skool. Now let's talk about Skool. So the Skool platform does let you schedule events and gives you an events calendar. Okay, so this is really good because in terms of simplicity, that's really fantastic. However, events are not native. It will work best for in-person meetups, so you can add meeting details to each calendar entry, but otherwise, you just have to put all the event details in the discussion section, which could include a link to live streaming or a meeting that's hosted somewhere else. Okay, so any virtual event will need to take place on another platform since there are no native events or live streaming capabilities. So something to really think about. And one thing I want you to also remember here is that at the end of the day, it's all about what's important for you. So what I will say here is that when it comes to events, it's a tie. Because if you like simplicity, go with Skool. If you want a little more, go with Mighty Networks. Okay. On Skool, for instance, once your event is scheduled, it lives on a calendar tab in your Skool community. And one good feature about events is that you can set it to automatically email members a reminder about an upcoming event or set an event to recurring. There are no RSVPs for events and no way to add member questions. So something to really remember too. So let's talk about Mighty Networks versus Skool monetization. So again, when it comes to events, you have a tie, okay? What about monetization here? So Mighty Networks doesn't just give you tools to create your community. The cool thing about Mighty Networks is that you can also build a monetization machine with it. So the reason why I want to really talk about monetization machine is that if you want to scale, let's say you want to 10x, you want to 100x your operation, your business, you got to have that kind of a flexibility. Okay, so Mighty Networks allows you to basically scale without having to resort to any third-party apps. Like you don't have to go to Slack. You don't have to go to Zapier. You don't have to go to another third-party plugin to actually, no, everything is done natively. So with Mighty, you can create plans and bundles, selling access to community, spaces, events, courses, or any combination of this actually. So this makes it incredibly easy to build a business with recurrent revenue, especially if you are trying to really get things done from a scalability point of view. You can also build landing pages for your community or for courses, which you can't do with Skool actually. And add to this the fact that you can charge in 135 different currencies, okay, or let members pay with crypto or hold a community token. And Mighty gives you a ton of options to make your business successful, really. So what about Skool when it comes to monetization? Well, the only way to monetize a community natively on Skool is to invite other paying users to Skool, okay? Note that this doesn't mean adding members to your community or charging for a membership. It means referring paid users to start their own paid communities. So this is actually Skool's affiliate program, and you can only get paid by signing up other Skool hosts to start their own communities, okay? Otherwise, actually, there is no way to charge for anything. If you want to sell community or courses, you would need to use a different platform to make the transactions. So something to really think about. So when it comes to monetization, you can see that Mighty Networks is definitely better. Okay. What about mobile apps here? I mean, this is actually the last criterion I want to really look at real fast. So if you think about mobile apps, Mighty Networks comes with an amazing app for every device. And basically, the cool thing about Mighty Networks is that there is no delta, there is no gap, there is no discrepancy when you use the web app or versus the mobile app. Things are just things are syncing big time. Okay, so it's pretty streamlined. That means what? That means courses, community events, anything that happens in the individual spaces happens natively on the apps too, right? So you give your members lots of flexibility. And so basically, with Mighty Networks, you also have white label apps for established brands. Okay, that means what? It means that when you get your app in the app store, not their store. You can schedule it. You can even call Mighty Networks team to actually discuss that with them. That's totally fine. And in terms of Skool, Skool doesn't have let's say I mean they do have a decent mobile app, but it's not as highly rated as Mighty. Okay, so this is something to really think about. So in conclusion, overall, if you think about Mighty Networks versus Skool, you can see that the clear winner here is Mighty Networks. Okay, Mighty Networks gives you a ton of features, everything you need to build a platform, to build a community platform, course and or event business, and all in one place. Okay. And Skool gives you a limited basic course and community platform with no options for monetization and not really that great of apps either. Okay, but when you compare the cost, Mighty starts from $41. Skool starts at $99 per month. That means what? Skool actually costs much more, and you get fewer features. So, but again, if what you're looking for is simplicity, go with Skool. But if you want, let's say, an all-in-one platform, go with Mighty Networks. That's something to really think about, especially if you want to scale real fast. So as a recap into this conversation, I talked to you about Mighty Networks and Skool. I actually compared several criteria from community platform all the way to courses, events, and monetization. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.